Here is a glass of water. Tell me what you think. Is this glass half full or is this glass half empty? Hello, my friends. This is our midweek video, and today we're going to talk about, is your glass half empty or half full? This is a question that you've heard for years and years. And I want you to ask yourself several questions about this before you answer. In our last video, we talked about slaying your senior years. And pretty much in that video, we did a lot of talking about our faces, how to have a great attitude. We talked about fashion and trying to keep up with fashions and what looks good on us, what doesn't, mostly what we love. But today I want to talk about attitude, hopefully positive attitude. Now, one of the questions that you want to ask yourself is, am I an optimist or am I a pessimist? And that's what they generally talk about when they talk about the glass of water being half full or half empty. Of course, we know which is which. And a lot of times it's used as a litmus test with a psychologist in trying to determine how that affects your life. Well, in a way it does. Now, just because you think that the glass is half empty, you're supposed to be a pessimist, but that doesn't necessarily stand. A poll showed that 48% of the people in America, I believe, who thought that the glass was half empty really considered themselves optimistic people. Well, now there are some funny answers to this too. The psychologist would ask you, if your glass is half empty, and that's the way you determine it, how do you feel about that? Psychologist is always about feelings and emotions. Now, the realist would say, it's a glass of water. It's got some water in it. Okay. As we all know, the optimists generally focus on life as a good thing. They're always looking for the good side of life. When a situation comes up, they'll probably say, wow, this is great. I can't believe this can get any better. Whereas the pessimist would be saying, oh gosh, why don't they have this? Why don't they have that? Something is always wrong with a situation. Now, if you are that type of a person and you just can't get your positive energy going, can you find something in your life that can be your bliss? You often hear that, find your bliss. Well, what is that? Is that a hobby? Is it reading? Is it seeing someone? Now, I'm going to take a few minutes to give you 5 questions to ask yourself. These questions will help you to decide if you are the pessimist or you do think of life as a half-empty glass of water. What can you do about it to help you feel better and to live your life to the fullest? Those of you who feel that the glass is half full, I think you're okay. Just keep going the way you're going. And just remember that you don't have to be an optimist. But if you're not satisfied with your outlook on life, some of the studies have showed that people who look on the bright side, call them optimists if you will, generally are healthier, and I'm going to read this, wealthier, more playful, more confident, more creative, more competitive, and more patient. So if you consider yourself optimistic, are you those things? And if you consider yourself a pessimist, would you like to be a little more that way? If you are a pessimist of sorts, or would like to be a little more uplifted in your life toward pessimism, there are several things you can do. And these are the 5 questions that you could ask yourself if you feel that you would like to lift your spirit somewhat. Now, on the other hand, if your mood suits your needs, that's fine. You don't have to change, but it is possible to learn to become more optimistic and uplifting about your life. And these are the questions, and I'll read them. When you're in a negative situation or thinking about a negative situation, here's 5 things you can do. You can ask yourself these questions. What is one good thing about being in this situation right now? Number 2, what can I learn from this negative situation? Number 3, what can I do differently the next time I'm in a negative situation? And number 4, will this matter in a week or a year? And this comes under making mountains out of molehills. And number 5, can I let out these negative feelings or my negative thoughts? And the last thing they say is by trying to find some gratefulness or being grateful about what you have in a situation. If you're in a situation, find the good in it and be grateful for it. So those are a few of the little things about the half full, half empty glass situation. And I hope that you've enjoyed this a little bit. Let me know what you think about it. And just remember that if you feel that you would like to be more optimistic, and I use that word in conjunction with just being happier in life, seeing the good, focusing on the good, and that's what I prefer to call it. Then try some of these things and ask yourselves these questions and practice it. They claim by practicing, you can become happier. Now here's some funny factoids about optimism and pessimism as associated with the half full or half empty glass. If you are an optimist, did you know that 25% of your optimism is inherited from your mom and dad? So think about that for a minute. Some other factoids. There are several disadvantages to being an optimist. They tend toward procrastination, perfectionism, and they suffer sometimes delusions of success by being a bit too over-optimistic. So there you go. It's kind of dark. I'm losing my light here. As I was editing this, and I'm gonna see if I have light. As I was editing this, it's now about 6 o'clock. All of a sudden, heavy rain started to come down. And believe it or not, before we knew it, Moose said, "Is that hail on the roof?" And sure enough, I went out and I took this video clip, which I will show you. Yesterday, it was almost 90. And the week before that, it was in the high 80s, 90. Moosey looked out. We opened the door. I took these and he screamed, "Oh my God, my tomato plants, all the snapdragons we planted, the hydrangea, what else, Moose? Roses." So say a prayer that everything survives, but I don't know. It's pretty cold out there and it's all hail, believe it or not. It's not snow, it's hail, I think. Go figure. Beautiful California weather. What do you say, Moosey?
It's a half a glass full.
A half a glass full. And on Moosey's tomatoes. Oh my God. Look at that sky. Thunder, lightning. $90 yesterday. Well, switching gears here for a minute, we're going to talk about some of the fun that we had over the weekend. Margie's birthday and a lovely brunch. We're really some party animals this week. So it's going to be a fun week, and you'll see a few little clips about all that coming up.
Wow.
Yummy. Out.
Oh my goodness. There she is.
Beautiful meals, and we are having a wonderful time. Happy birthday to Margie, enjoying her grandbaby Peyton, and Mommy and Daddy. Eggs Benedict with potatoes. I'm having my eggs Benedict. Beautiful salad. What is yours called, Brianna?
The pig's omelet, or Three Little Pigs omelet.
Three Little Pigs omelet. How cute. Colin, yours is really unusual looking. What is that?
Chilaquiles.
Oh, chilaquiles. Well, after our lovely brunch, we were able to exchange all those Christmas presents that have been riding around in my car since Christmas, and we couldn't give them to Margie and her family because they all were down with quarantine COVID. And that was also Super Bowl day. We came home, we rested a little bit, took a little snooze, and then we drove to Matthew's and spent the day with Matthew and Cindy and their family watching the Super Bowl and watching the Rams win. I put a few pictures of that. I always forget to take out my camera when we're down at Matt's. I don't know why, but I had so much fun. His kids are all teenagers or approaching teenage years. And they had a new weightlifting machine, and they had me out in the room practicing to see how I could do with the weights, sitting on the bench trying to do the leg was. I don't think I did very well on those, although they were amazed that I could touch my toes and put my hands on the floor. So I've discovered I'm flexible, but not necessarily too strong with my arms. I thought I was, but with weight machines, no. But we had a great day. And I put some pictures on of some of the way our children, they were scattered. They all had different parties or attended different parties. And Colleen, I think, was the one that made the brownie footballs with the names on them. And Colin, who had a magnificent party at his place, he had this giant vat of boiled vegetables, shrimp. It looked like, what was the other seafood? Corn, potatoes, all steamed. And they had a big table with, it looked like the white paper all over it. And he just dumped this big pot on the table, and everybody ate from the table. All those steamed veggies and seafood looked wonderful. It's Valentine's Day, And Moosey is getting his haircut of the month because we have a very big social week coming up. What I'm really getting Moosey ready for is on Wednesday, our granddaughter Bridget's husband is having his biannual poker party at his house. And this is a family event where all the men in the family, all the grandchildren and grown great-grandchildren, anybody over about 10 who knows how to play poker is invited to Oh, on Saturday, I have a wonderful day with Dubby. She's invited me out for one of those Dubby Mommy days, and we're probably going antiquing over there in Orange. We're going to stop in and see Molly and her brand new little baby, and little Kelly, who's almost 2, in her new house, which is, gosh, about 2 or 3 minutes from Dub's. Dub is ecstatic. So it's going to be a fun week. We're really out socializing and running around.
Getting back to poker, can you give me any advice on how to play? Let me tell you, it's pretty well accepted in the male world that they get their best advice from bartenders and barbers. And that's sex advice, psychological advice, gambling advice. But I haven't been talking to a bartender in several years, and you don't give me any advice.
Hey, you're talking to a barber right here, right?
Yeah, but tell me.
You mean gambling advice?
Whatever's going.
I have a favorite answer. The solution to the half-empty, half-full glass of water. It is refillable. For all those of you who think it's half empty, it is refillable, and that's the idea of it all. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe, share. How about those thumbs up? I'm enjoying those. We'd love it if you would. Those of you who haven't subscribed yet, think about it. Goodbye for now. I love you all. Until next time, God bless us all.